issue of Ya'juj and Ma'juj is actually, for our modern times, I would say, one of the most, if not the most problematic of the signs of Judgment Day. And it has caused many of our youth to question, to doubt. I myself have met people that have actually left Islam because of these types of tales. And we have to be honest and frank and not pretend as if this doesn't exist. Perhaps some of you are not accustomed to hearing people speak like this, but my philosophy is different. We are dealing with the crisis of people leaving our faith, our own children, our own young men and women. And of the reasons why is that we are not answering some of these issues that they bring, and we dismiss them. The issue of Ya'juj and Ma'juj is something that doesn't just occur in the hadith. It is explicit in the Quran. Standard medieval interpretation of Ya'juj and Ma'juj is the following. This is what you find in Ibn Kathir. You find it in the tafsir literature of As-Samarqandi and of Al-Tha'labi. And basically, this is the mainstream interpretation for our classical and middle ages of Islam. If you look at any book of tafsir, any book of history, the notion was the following. Ya'juj and Ma'juj are a bizarre, exotic tribe in the nether regions of the world that have been trapped by Dhul Qarnayn thousands of years ago, and they're still trapped to this day. That Ya'juj and Ma'juj are a living tribe, blocked to this day behind the wall that was built 4,000, 5,000 years ago. That wall miraculously is still there. People can see on the one side, and on the other side you have these savages that Allah knows how they're eating, drinking, replicating, whatnot, and they're still there for eons and eons and eons. Dare I say, anybody who knows science and geography and modern civilization, you cannot believe that there is a tribe for 4,000 years trapped behind a wall. I mean, if you believe this, that's your position. I cannot believe it. I find this very difficult to believe. If you still believe that there's a big wall that is lasting for thousands of years, and by the way, no human structure is that fortified for 4,000 or 5,000 years that nothing happens to it. Even the Great Wall of China needs to be built up or whatnot. I mean, it doesn't work that way. But anyway, if you believe, and anyway, so this is, what can I say? If you believe it, you believe it. I am somebody who, what can I say? My mind doesn't believe this. Others have said, we need to reinterpret Ya'juj and Ma'juj metaphorically. And that is this newfangled interpretation. This is a very modern interpretation. It only begins in the 60s and whatnot, where they say Dajjal and Ya'juj and Ma'juj are symbolic. I admire the fact they're trying to salvage the tradition, because they understand that mainstream interpretation doesn't make sense. Another group says, and this is something that I have heard myself, some ulama say, that perhaps Ya'juj and Ma'juj are not on earth but under earth. That's why the satellites haven't discovered them. Again, I appreciate the salvaging, I really do. But how can human beings survive? No vegetation, no plants with the sun, no oxygen, food, drink, thousands of years. And according to these traditions, we're talking about gazillions of people. What is the answer to this conundrum of Ya'juj and Ma'juj? I will disappoint you by saying there is no clear-cut answer. I don't have a solution to Ya'juj and Ma'juj. I am personally skeptical. I mean, I have a degree in engineering. I understand mathematics and chemistry and geology, and Allah knows best. Perhaps this notion of a living tribe of Ya'juj and Ma'juj is not correct. And this is what I firmly believe, simply because it is highly problematic to posit that there are billions of people somewhere in today's world clawing away. There is another interpretation which I hesitate to even verbalize, And I will tell you honestly, this is not mine. One of my scholarly friends in a private conversation, so he will not allow me to mention his name. So we were talking with a group of ulama, a group of students of knowledge, whatnot, call them whatever you will, and we're talking about this problematizing. It is a problem, wallahi, it's a problem for any rational mind. What are you going to do with Ya'juj and Ma'juj? He said, let's look at these traditions again. We see that first and foremost, Ya'juj and Ma'juj seem to be human but not human. You see where this is heading. And they seem to be a race of people that cannot be fought. And they seem to be doing things that are bizarre, drinking up all of this water. That's not, humans can't do that. Mentally, they don't seem to be 100% there when they think they can kill the people of the heavens. This isn't normal. This isn't rational. The regular human beings alive, the followers of Isa, are so terrified of this group that they don't even want to see them. They're fleeing away from them. They will not fight them. The hadith mentions they will not be able to be fought. He mentions, if you look at the popular imagination of our times, you find a genre of literature and horror movies. What if the concept is there that these groups of people are human but not quite human? And they're doing all of these things, and everything just started clicking in my head. Check, 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 check. So ayas, the key point. They shall die the death of one man. How will they get gotten rid of? Allah will send a disease, some type of antivirus, some type of vaccine. I'm just saying what my friend said. Because the hadith mentions this explicitly, does it not? Allah will send something that will get them in the neck, and they will die the death of one person. So when my friend kept on going over all of these points, my laughter turned to a serious contemplation. And I said, but how do we tell the public this? Then I said, I'll just project it onto my friend, which it is true, it is coming from him, and I'll take myself out the picture, so that as you laugh at my friend, but the laughter will slowly turn to contemplation, and deep down inside you'll realize this makes a lot more sense than anything else out there.
It simply says they are laughing to the word of Allah. That's all it is. Your Sheik is laughing, people who are listening it laughing, and all I am doing is, you don't want people to laugh by themselves.
Yeah, we join
you share the joy.
Yeah, why aren't you angry at your Sheikh laughing or the audience laughing? So they can laugh, but we can't? Why? Sharing is caring. Share the joy. And if that silly story wasn't in the Quran to start with, then no one would be laughing. So, yeah, if you don't want to be laughed at, don't be a Muslim. What can I tell you? I mean, what do you want from us? If you're funny, people are going to laugh. I'm sorry. Noor.
So people are laughing to your God.
Yeah,
people are laughing to his word.
Yeah.
And your prophet.
And it's people, it's the Sheikh. It's not just anyone. It's the Sheikh of Islam is laughing and his audience is laughing.
And that's the one who is destroying Islam as itself, trying to find solution to the well-detailed, well-explained word of Allah about the zombies Allah is talking, which doesn't even make sense. Don't you think that's just so delightful?
I think you ought to laugh as well with us. Just loosen up and laugh. It's funny. I mean, it's one of his other scholars that said about the zombie.
Yeah, I was even practicing like a couple of minutes before we started the live stream. Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Even just verbalizing these things. I really hope that we were able to do this last week, because I think last week we really, really needed this. But video is up here, so...
I think I know why he says don't laugh, because Muhammad, his prophet, says
yeah, he orders killing the people who laughed at him.
Yeah, he just says don't laugh, so...
Oh, well, you don't, like, look at his face. Yeah. He enjoys.
He's enjoying. This is one of the better khutbahs. This is... All the other khutbahs are really boring. This is one of the good ones, actually.
who was once an individual that you could close your eyes and take knowledge from, has continued to go off the path until we've reached a stage where the unexpected has become a fact. The matter of Ya'juj and Ma'juj was brought up, and his view are that Ya'juj and Ma'juj, according to...
Please stop abusing the chat. There is no need for you to copy and paste the same thing again, please. Please, please, please.
The unexpected has become a fact. The matter of Ya'juj and Ma'juj was brought up, and his view are that Ya'juj and Ma'juj, according to a sheikh he knows, are zombies.
Okay, so another Muslim simply steps in and then tries to help Allah what he really meant to say, and then he expressed those are the controversial things. We don't need to discuss those things, but since the one whom we looked up in the past, Sheik Yasir Qadhi, tells us those are the zombies, let me deal with this.
And remember, sister, what we want from this Ustad here is we want an answer to Ya'juj and Ma'juj. So if he's going to disagree with Yasir Qadhi, he needs to give us an answer.
Yeah.
Remember?
So we want to know who are those zombies, okay? Just, or whatever they are. Like,
and where are they is more important, whatever they are.
And like millions, zillions of them, okay? Let's get the answer. I'm sure they will give us answer.
Zombies that will come out at the end of time. Because logically speaking, there couldn't be a group of people on earth that are blocked behind some sort of barrier and they're unable to exit, they're unable to leave until now, even though according to science we've gone all over the earth and we've explored everything and so on and so forth. So from a logical point of view, it doesn't make sense to him, and therefore the opinion is that they cannot possibly be people that are withheld behind a wall. First, when presenting any aspect of the deen to the average Muslim, we don't call anything problematic. But to speak to a bunch of Muslims, and supposedly our fear is that they're leaving Islam. This issue is making them leave Islam. So in order for us not to let them leave Islam, we try to misinterpret or reinterpret the text so that it will make more sense to them, so they can feel comfortable, okay, now I can remain a Muslim.
Don't you love him?
I do love him. I mean, these sheikhs, Prophet Google, Ustad, sorry.
Yeah.
Prophet Google said, we're not going to have a job, you and me, sister. They're just going to refute Islam for us.
Yeah, like Muslims, sheikhs and Muslims, ustads or scholars are destroying Islam by themselves. They don't need us, but we are just, you know, we are kind, we are generous, we've got nothing else to do. Therefore, we just step in and then bring these things up to you. So he's not happy about these zombies, even though he knows that technology has been developed and developed and developed. Today, we can figure out what is happening. And so what if they cannot find a zillion of people who are living behind the barriers? So what?
And see the first tip that he gave to Yasir Qadhi? Do not call anything problematic.
Of course, don't ever say it is problematic.
That's number one. Especially speaking to people who are leaving Islam, which makes sense. So lie, basically. Even if something is problematic, don't call it problematic.
Yeah, so we don't want people to leave Islam. What we do is we compromise. We talk about zombies.
When you speak into this caliber of people and you present the issue as problematic, that is a problem. Because
to call something problematic is in itself a problem. Yeah, I mean, I think shouting is a problem. Shouting at someone to say, don't you dare call something problematic, even if it's illogical to you. I mean, he doesn't see the irony of what he's doing, sister.
Okay, let's focus, sister. We cannot laugh at those things. Those are serious things, causing people to give up Islam.
you've already given it a bad taste. that cannot be removed no matter what you do. First and foremost, ya akhi, there is nothing problematic. Whatever you come across in the Quran and the Sunnah, either it makes sense to you, alhamdulillah, congratulations, or it doesn't make sense to you for whatever reason, no problem, you have no problem. You say, sami'na wa ata'na. I submit. I'm not going to oppose the text. I'm not going to reject the text. I'm not going to try to find some twisted interpretation to make it agreeable. I submit, this is a mu'min.
Things doesn't make sense to me. Things doesn't make sense to you. Word of Allah doesn't make sense to me. Word of Allah doesn't make sense to you. What we do?
Submit.
We submit.
That's it. That's the answer.
Yeah, we just follow those zombies. Or try to hunt down those zombies and then make sure they like get hit from their neck and they get destroyed from their neck.
So that's the answer to Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Just submit.
Yep.
Why didn't he just say?
And it's not a problem, okay? If you don't use that word called problem. You simply say, I submit. As a good Muslim, even though I know there is a problem, I have to deny. I have to deny. And I will have to deny. And I denied it now. I submit.
And don't use the word problematic again. Take it out of your dictionary.
Yeah, don't use Oxford Dictionary.
The matter is clear. When we present the topic, there's nothing problematic. You say this is an interesting issue that we can elaborate on. But to clown and make fun of medieval scholars, it's a more appropriate term now to describe our righteous predecessors. That they were some weirdos who just didn't know any better, so they accepted the information just as per the apparent meaning, and then now we have become so intelligent and so wise and so broad that we have a better understanding. Is not fair. It's not fair to the Muslims, because in their minds they will forever associate that era with people that had no idea what was going on. You are insinuating a superiority of the later generations to the earlier generations, when the Prophet ﷺ clearly gave the superiority to the earlier generations to the latter generations. They are definitely superior. Never do we say something that will belittle their status or their intelligence or their status with Allah. So maintaining a level of respect, ya akhi. Come off that pedestal and relax already. Calm down, man. Come back to earth with us human beings. It does not matter how long you've learned. It does not matter how much knowledge you have. What matters is how humble you are with this information.
Wow. So he's really angry, sister.
No, come on, sister. He cannot be angry towards his brother.
He's angry because his brother disrespected the earlier generations of the mufassirin, of the scholars that interpreted it, saying that it can't be true.
Oh, and I know lots of people who simply get rid of the early scholars and then put their own interpretation.
I bet.
We don't need to give names. We don't need to give names.
Yeah.
We don't need to give names, but on this clip we get to see.
By the way, what he said about Muhammad saying that the earlier generation is better, it's true. Yeah.
First 4 generation. Let's continue.
The one who, when the shaitan sees him on one side of the road, will go to the other. He said, I wish the mother of Umar never gave birth to Umar. Nowadays we read a few books, we go to a couple of universities, we pick up a couple of PhDs, and excuse me, I think, I believe, my opinion, my interpretation, la ya Sheik. Too much, wallah. It's an overkill. Think about the outcome and the consequences of what you say and how it will affect the masses. Where's the concept of ittaqu shubuhat? Stay away from the doubtful matters. Recording to the concept of khatibun nasa ala qadri uqulihim. Speak to the people according to their understanding. We have a phenomena of atheism. We have a phenomena of apostatism, people leaving Islam. If you think you can fix it by dealing with every controversial issue or every confusing matter by giving it a new modern interpretation, you're dead wrong. Because every time you resolve an issue, you will create another one. The whole concept of the religion is based on Iman.
So, don't ever look at the doubtful matters. Don't deal with the controversial issues. You cannot fix it. All we do is, who is answering the question, who is this Yajuj and Majuj? We submit. You can't fix it. You will never able to fix it.
And did you see what he said, sister? Talk to people according to their own understanding.
Yeah.
What makes him think that he can assess someone and say, okay, this guy's understanding is low. I better speak to him in a language he understands. Let's not talk about these hard subjects. They think they're above everyone. That it's like a paternalistic thing.
That's how they've been deceiving for centuries and without any shame. In the time when there is a Sheik Google, Sheik YouTube, they still think, oh yeah, we can deceive that person. It's like if someone likes to watch the zombie movies, that scary movie stuff, oh, we can simply tell them it is the same thing. But if someone knows about the science, we can simply tell them we are working on it to understand. Or if someone comes from a culture where they're not encouraged to think or research, we simply say, this is what Allah says. Allah knows best. Let's keep it to ourselves. That's what happens. You continue to lie to your fellow brothers and sisters. You continue to lie your fellow brothers and sisters. You continue to lie your fellow brothers and sisters. What happens? Sheik Google, Sheik YouTube is going to open their eyes. And they will come to you and then they will ask you, I trusted you, but you lied to me. Keep people in the ignorance they are already living their life, with knowing that is going to make them to end up in hell. And you are contributing that. You are making them to walk through that way to hell. And that is very, very serious. It is much serious than laughing to the zombies. It is much serious than when Muslim scholars are having debates and discussions regarding, oh, this is, I was speaking with a friend who is the student of knowledge behind the doors. I cannot give his name. He wouldn't want me to give his name. It is not something like that. Those lies which you've been hiding behind is causing not only you to enter the hell, but also your loved ones, dear Muslim friends, to enter in hell. Don't talk about those doubtful matters, because those doubtful matters are, you cannot explain them. Allah messed up. And you need to find the ways to fix it, and you cannot fix it. The things we cannot fix it, what we do is, we put them under the carpet and then we hide behind it. Well done. Simply well done.